I'm a partner in a boring local business, and over the past couple days, I've been doing some vibe marketing and vibe coding on the website, and I've gotten some pretty insane results. So I want to make a quick video just breaking down some tips and tricks to get high quality designs on your vibe coded website, and then some SEO optimizations that you can make directly within Claude Code to start ranking for your target keywords quickly. You can create an SEO powerhouse as a website that's well designed and ranking for your target terms pretty easily with Claude Code, utilizing some of these vibe marketing tactics. So we're just going to dive right in. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you the website. I'm going to break down some tips and tricks and the things that I've done over the past few days. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to start just by showing you the actual website. So here it is. This is for a local diesel mechanic business. I know, kind of boring, but there's a lot of potential with local businesses like this. Currently, if you know how to do marketing with AI, a lot of the competition in these types of businesses is very unsophisticated, and you can create a differentiated website. You can update it quickly. You can create high quality content. You can optimize it for keywords. And just think, like, most of the competition in this niche isn't doing any marketing, or they're working with an agency that's probably lower cost or doing subpar work or very behind themselves. So there's a huge arbitrage opportunity with this type of stuff right now if you know what you're doing. So here's the site, and quick story on this. So I had a friend design this website for me, and initially it was a WordPress site. But what I found was that it was very difficult to, well, I just got a new puppy, by the way, and if you hear any barking in the background, that's what's going on. So apologies in advance. Anyways, she created this website, and it was in WordPress. However, I had a really difficult time updating the site, even getting access to it, figuring out how I could vibe code a WordPress site. So I wanted to get it over into Cursor so that I could utilize Claude Code to make updates, move quickly, and optimize it for SEO. So I didn't even work with the WordPress files at first. I went into Figma, and in Figma, I had the designs. I only had like these 3 pages right here. I had a home page, I had a services page, and I've got a locations page. So I found this plugin called Anima, and Anima, I'll show you the website of that as well, but it's all around helping you do on-brand vibe coding. So there's a plugin for Figma that you can install right here, and essentially you select the design or the layer that you want to code up, and you can generate code by clicking a button. You can download it, and you can just tell Claude Code where that file lives, and it can utilize it to, build a website based on the Figma design. It's very simple. You don't need to overcomplicate this process. So I'll just show you how it works. So here I'm on Figma desktop, which is what you need to use for this, or what I used at least. And you can see here 2 things. One, I'm in dev mode. You have to be in dev mode to utilize this plugin. And you can see when I go into dev mode, I have plugins as a available option over here. You can see Anima right here. So I'm just going to click Anima, and it just loads up over here on the right side of the screen. And it says select a layer to start. So this is a layer. Each of these are layers. These pages are layers. So if I just select this layer, you can see that we get a little preview of my selection here, and you can see some code. And basically, I'm going to download this selection, and it's going to download the code. It's going to download the files, the images, everything that Claude Code needs to, design on top of this. Now, Claude Code and these agents work best with existing code bases, not necessarily taking these design files and whipping something up that's going to match perfectly. It'll get pretty close, but it won't be perfect. You still have to kind of go back and forth a little bit, adjust what you want to adjust. But for vibe coding purposes and moving quickly, I found this to be a very solid option and way easier than any of the other things that I've tried, to try to match up designs in the past. So it's the Anima plugin. You'll download it, and then you can go into Claude Code. Here I use Cursor, of course, for my terminal at times. And you'll just say, hey, look at your downloads folder, get the name of the folder, say, hey, I've got some designs in this folder. I want to build a website based on, this brand, get as close as possible. One tip that I found, you need to have like each page as a separate layer, and you need to export and share the code for each of those individually. Don't try to share like a massive file. Try to give Claude Code kind of targeted context. So one page at a time, one layer at a time, and it will do a much better job. If you notice that there are some sections that you need to improve on, go into like individual areas or individual sections, download those again and say, hey, like you're kind of missing something. Here's what the code looks like for this section. So that's how I used Anima. And, again, it was able to get very, very close, to the Figma designs and to that initial WordPress website that I had. But now this is totally optimized. I have complete control. Claude Code has total context of the code base, and I can just work on this and update it whenever I want. So another thing that I did, I built this website not on WordPress. I migrated over to a framework called Astro. And Astro is absolutely fantastic for marketing websites, landing pages, blogs, things like that. It's incredibly fast. Claude Code works with it very, very well. You can install it right in your terminal, and Claude Code knows how to work with the library and package the website up on Astro. So what I noticed is that after I built it on Astro, my speed and all that was greatly improved. And there's a number of like plugins and things like that. If you want to put a CMS or a blog on your website, Astro has integrations that can help you with those types of things. So I'd highly recommend checking this out. Again, I think this was like one of the key factors in how I was able to rank this website for my keywords so quickly. All I did to get going was I copied this right here. I went over to my terminal where Claude Code lives, and I said, hey, like in planning mode, after you work on these designs or whatever, like let's build this on Astro. So just integrate that into your process that way. Again, this is vibe coding. Don't overthink it. Get in there, and Claude Code's smart enough to help you through matching design files if you provide it the right context, and then building a website on a framework like Astro instead of WordPress, or just kind of coming up with your own website file system. Okay, so that's how we built the site. And the next thing that I did is that I started to dig into search and SEO. So I'm going to give you some high-level tips. We're going to dig into some specifics and some prompts so that we can figure out how I was able to do this. So just to frame this up here, I posted this tweet a couple days back, and it was a Claude Code SEO optimization checklist. This is based on all the work that I've done on this website. And, once I started to get some results, and the partner that I'm in this business with started to actually get calls within 24 hours of making these updates, I was like, okay, on to something here. Let's talk about it and let's share the sauce. So posted this, and we'll just go through this real quick, and then I'll give you some more detail. So a few of the things that I did: created new landing pages on the website that are targeted to specific keywords and specific service offerings that this business does. For all the locations that this business serves, I created individual pages for those as well. Created some, special targeted pages for other things like emergency service and things of that nature. We asked Claude Code to do schema markup, optimize the meta tags and the headers, create a sitemap, a robot.txt, JavaScript optimization, image optimization. It sounds like a lot, but what you can do after you build your site out, you can just go to Claude Code and say, hey, in great detail, audit this website from an SEO perspective, focusing on technical and on-page opportunities, rank them by priority, and tell me how we can sort of dominate the competition in this space through targeted SEO optimizations. So I also did some LLM type stuff. I added like LLMs.txt and things of that nature. But in my opinion, the best sort of LLM discovery, or GEO, whatever you want to call it, starts with a good SEO foundation. Another tip that I have for you for optimizing for SEO, I leaned on O3 Max here as in Cursor with Cursor Agent to also analyze the site. So I played a little AI ping pong going back and forth between Claude Code and O3. Over here I have, this is where I use my MCPs like Perplexity and Firecrawl. So a couple steps that I did, I had Firecrawl crawl the site, create a file with all that information. I gave that to Claude Code as well. So that it could, get all the context on finding each and every area of things to optimize for SEO. One very important thing that you need when you do optimize a website for SEO, specifically for on-page optimizations and for creating new pages and articles and things like that, is keyword research. So you have to find the demand, and your website is the supply. Okay, you're trying to fulfill the search demand that's out there, and you are trying to have a technically optimized, authoritative, and trustworthy supply, so to speak, for that search term or for that keyword. Now, you can go into SEMrush and these other tools to do keyword research. You can use Data for SEO. You can install the Data for SEO MCP, and you can go through there and find real keyword data. But when you're first getting started, specifically with like a targeted site like the one I was working on, I didn't really need to do all that, to be honest. I already have a good idea of like what the keywords are, and Google's pretty smart in terms of understanding the intent of what someone's searching for and what the website's trying to fulfill. So I actually just kind of used Perplexity. I said, hey, do some Perplexity research, use the MCP, here's the website, here's the area that it serves, here are the services that we offer, here are a couple competitors, create a plan so that we can dominate local SEO, specifically focused on what pages I need to launch, what keywords I need to focus on, and what sort of on-page and content opportunities we need to implement. So it gave me, essentially location pages and service pages as the key opportunities, and it gave me a few seed keywords that we could focus on throughout the entire website. So we've got things like diesel mechanic and X area or whatever that we're going after, if that makes sense. So just saying that you don't need to let keyword research stop you as a step. Or kind of overwhelm you. How do I do this? You can just sort of ask AI to help you get a targeted list. You can frame it up by saying, hey, I want to create an SEO strategy here. I need a list of keywords we can get started with. So just to take a brief step back here, and then we'll go into every single SEO update that I made, as well as prompts. There's essentially three things that you need to do. Number one, come up with an SEO plan of attack. You can get keyword ideas with Perplexity or something along those lines. O3 is also smart enough to do that for you. And then take the keywords, give those to Claude Code, say, hey, let's come up with on-page opportunities, new pages to target, my services and match the search intent or whatever. Crawl the website with Firecrawl after you build it. Give that to Claude Code, say, hey, find all the technical optimization opportunities, and it'll list them out, and you can just say, hey, go for it. Now, as it does the work, you can deploy your website and stuff like that. And then you can take your live URL and you can do two things. One, you can go to Google PageSpeed Insights, and that's where you're going to get your core web vitals. And I'll just show it to you. And this is what it is. It's actually a free tool. So you type in your website and click Analyze, and it will go through your website and it will break down the speed, the performance. It'll give you an SEO score, and it'll give you the exact things that you need to fix on mobile and on desktop, so that your website is like an SEO powerhouse. So basically, I was kind of doing this as like an audit step. You can see the desktop website's very, very good. Still a couple mobile things that I'm working on. And you don't even really need to know what all this means. You can copy this and you can paste it over to Claude Code, and it will know exactly the items to fix after you build your foundation based on the auditing that you did with the AI in your terminal or cursor or whatever it is. Okay, so this is a good step to just keep optimizing and keep improving your website after you get that initial foundation built out. The other thing that I did after I had the website launched, I do have a pro subscription to SEMrush. I went over to SEMrush. I audited the website. It found a bunch of other things for me as well, and I just vibe marketed it. I copied the information from the SEO audit in SEMrush over to Claude Code. It knew exactly what to do to keep updating and keep fixing those issues. All right. So let's go over here and let's talk about the plan of attack. And you can replicate this for your website. This is for a local site, but a lot of this information you can use for any business, really. So let's go through it. So when you get started, you need to start with an audit, and you're going to say, hey, analyze this website for SEO issues and create a prioritized list of optimizations. Pretty straightforward. I like to guide it to, focus on technical and on-page issues. AI is very good at fixing those. You don't need to worry necessarily about your brand voice and all this other stuff. These are things that search engines need to understand, what demand you're trying to fulfill. And it's going to sort of look at the performance of your website as a ranking factor. LLMs do the same thing. So the reasoning behind this, you can't fix what you don't know is broken. Start with a comprehensive audit. So the actions that Claude Code took for me in this step were it implemented robots.txt. This helps search engines crawl your website and understand what it's all about. It created a sitemap. This is extremely important. Once you create a sitemap, go and submit it on Google Search Console so that Google can actually crawl your website. We added meta descriptions to all the pages so that the crawlers can understand what the pages are about. We implemented our keywords in those meta descriptions across the entire website. We fixed duplicate title tags and implemented canonical URLs. We don't need to go into the details there. Those are the types of things that you can just say, sounds good, Claude, go ahead and do your thing. All right, number 2, URL structure optimization. So update the site to use the apex domain instead of a subdomain for better SEO. Consolidate domain authority to a single URL structure. Again, this is kind of a semi-minute technical optimization that Claude identified and came up with. So sitemap generation, create a sitemap with proper priorities for a local service website. Ensure all the pages are discoverable by search engines. So again, sitemaps help search engines understand the site structure and the importance of the various pages on your site. And you can kind of add a priority to each of the pages based on which ones you want Google or whatever to really focus on. And you can see those items here. Okay. Schema markup. This was really important. So upgrade our local business schema to the more specific auto repair type and add a comprehensive service catalog. So this provides search engines with detailed, structured data about the business, and specific schema types can rank better than generic ones. So if someone is in a local area and they're searching for a local business, and my website is structured exactly for that niche, and the search engines are going to be able to understand what it's about and serve up more relevant results to the end users. So this helps a lot with ranking and with SEO. All right. And again, you don't really even need to know what all of this means. Claude is smart enough to do it for you. I'm trying to give you a starter point in terms of what types of questions to ask so that you can vibe code and vibe market this on your own. One clarification, yes, I have done a lot of this before. I knew the initial questions to kind of ask and guide. Beyond that initial technical audit, I went super, super deep here. I'm trying to give you all the topics that you can discuss on your own with your agent. All right, so content strategy and creation, create pillar content. Now this gets into some of those pages that I talked about. Create a comprehensive diesel mechanic page to target broader keywords. So this is a dedicated landing page to a specific search term that is important to my business that I want to go and rank for. I'll show you the page. Claude did a really good job at kind of building this out for me. Let's see, here it is. And again, this is kind of a targeted page for a specific keyword. I'm looking to build a lot of authority on this specific term. And I created a very in-depth page. Actually, Claude did, and I just kind of approved it and went through and made a few small tweaks as we went. Okay, so it structured the page very well. It created the headers. It added 2,000 plus words of comprehensive content, internal links to all the service pages, location specific sections, and the FAQ schema implementation. So I know that sounds pretty technical if you're not into this type of stuff every day, but what you should know is that Claude is smart enough to know the structure that will rank well on search engines. And if you sort of feed it with a couple other websites in your niche, you can ask it to kind of like look at the gaps and come up with a way that you can outrank the competitors by going deeper into these types of pillar pages for these keywords that you're going after. All right, so we did create a blog. It did a really good job. It went and created the articles for me automatically. I went ahead and just published those to get some content on the site. It created an emergency guide and it created some educational content for me. All right. Again, like it didn't just write the blogs. It also added a bunch of technical and on-page implementations automatically without me having to prompt for those when it went and did this. It already had context that we were working on SEO, trying to do this to improve rankings and get traffic to the site. So if you're a local business, here's a strategy that you can utilize. Create location pages. It's like a no-brainer. When you search, you're typically adding on that sort of location qualifier on the end of your term. So if you're saying like, vegan restaurant, Chicago or something like that, you can create a page for Chicago. You can create a page for Milwaukee, Indianapolis, whatever locations you're targeting, and that will help you serve up rankings in those individual areas. All right, so quick tip, some of these like programmatic style pages can be thin to start with, meaning Claude will just kind of create them, put some basic content, ask it to go deep. Tell it to create detailed local content on those pages for each area. Google will take that as like an authoritative signal that, you know what you're talking about for that location, and you're a really good option to serve up to searchers in that area. Okay, so I would recommend doing that. Fix local SEO errors. This is where I went to the SEMrush audit to find some extra details, and I passed it back here. One of the important things, if you are a local business, ensure consistency with your NAP information across the site, name, address, phone. Make sure that matches up exactly with your Google business profile. Something else that I did, I went in and optimized my Google business profile to have a lot of consistency with the website here. So I was working with O3 on the side as Claude was coding to optimize that Google business profile. All right, so other things, convert images to WebP format. So when you launch a site, if you have like PNGs or something like that, especially big images, it can take a long time to load. That's a negative signal when it comes to search engines. They want very fast sites, quick loading. So if you convert your images to WebP, they'll load much faster. The files are much smaller and quicker to show up on mobile devices and on desktop. And then implement lazy loading. You don't need to know what these are, but basically they help improve the speed of your website. You can discover these by going to PageSpeed Insights, copying and pasting that information over here. And Claude's smart enough to know to implement lazy loading and to convert the images and things like that. Okay. CSS extraction and other technical optimization in order to make the website faster. Again, this came from the PageSpeed Insights as I was trying to improve my core web vitals to have a super, super fast website. Internal linking and site structure. So you need to have solid internal linking on the website. This just means that if I'm on a location page, have some links to the services that you offer in that area, etc. Claude has context on the website, on the content. Ask it to create an internal linking strategy for you if it doesn't come up with that automatically. All right. Duplicate content. So as you create these location and service pages and build out a website, you want to make sure that all of these pages sound natural. The content isn't duplicated between the pages across the board, and each of these pages need to sound unique and have, kind of semantic variations of the search terms. You don't want the search engines to think that you're kind of like stuffing keywords all over the place and just quickly templatizing and duplicating pages. So don't have thin content, have depth, don't have duplicate content, have uniqueness. That's a simple guide for that, and it will help ensure strong performance of your website, and it will also keep Google from kind of thinking, hey, this is like AI slop or something like that. All right, mobile. Mobile's big. You can use PageSpeed Insights. The big thing for mobile is UX. I feel so. I worked a lot on speed there, and that was basically it. I used PageSpeed Insights to do that. All right, content expansion and service pages. So you need to cover sort of your ground in terms of the search terms, and the way you do that is creating pages. There's three types of keywords really. There's informational, which translate well to blog posts. There's discovery, which is kind of like one layer down in terms of intent. Discovery and commercial keywords. You want to have individual landing pages essentially for those types of search terms. It gives you an opportunity to go deeper, have more content, more relevance, etc., and have pages that are targeted specifically to answer the questions around the very important money keywords that you're trying to target for your site. So I did this for actually all of my services. All right. So make sure that you are digging into that with Claude. All right. And then we did some advanced things here. FAQ schema, trust signals, emergency landing page. Excuse me. Claude Code will provide those recommendations. It'll go, really deep into this process. I didn't even implement some of the things that it came up with. And I said, hey, let's come back to that at a later date, add it to claude.md as to-dos. So now every time we boot up this project, it looks at that Claude MD file. It has these kind of in the back of its mind. I can say, hey, what's our next step in terms of SEO? or ranking or whatever. And it has that reference point so that it's not lost in the chat. All right. So key takeaways. Start with technical SEO, fix the foundation. Schema is critical. You need to have content depth. It's critical. Local content should be unique. Internal links build authority. Mobile speed is super important. And then you need to figure out how to implement trust and transparency into the site through helpful content. All right. I know that's a lot, but just to give you an idea of how long all of this took me about 3 or 4 hours to go back and forth with Claude Code to, not just build the site, but also do all of this SEO optimization. After I completed it, I made sure to, get Google Analytics and Google Search Console hooked up. I submitted the sitemap. I asked Google Search Console to crawl the pages on the site by individually submitting them. And after that, I started to, rank for my keywords in a very short amount of time. And in some of my target locations for my money keywords, I'm number 1, number 2, and number 3. And the partner that operates this business is already getting phone calls for the services within just a couple days. So that's the true power of Vibe marketing. You can do months worth of marketing work literally in hours. I've done this type of stuff for clients in the past, and in my past life. I've worked with agencies that do this stuff. This would cost tens of thousands of dollars, and it would take weeks or months to get done. Typically, if they're not savvy with Vibe marketing, with Claude Code, with Cursor, with AI. So if you're a local business, if you Vibe coded your site, if you haven't, get it over to Claude Code. You have complete control. You can do so much with it. And this is an extremely ROI positive activity that you can do so that you're getting traffic, getting leads, getting opportunities. I hope that's helpful. I'm going to post this complete guide in the Vibe Marketers community. So if you're a member, stay on the lookout for this. If you have any questions, let me know. We can go through the website one more time just so that I can give you a demo here. So this is the home page. We've got, these services linked here. We've got these individual service pages. They're, quite optimized. We've got, location pages where we're going very deep into not just information about the locations, but also the services that we have there. These hub pages kind of, have all of that information collated for all of it. I added this footer here for easy navigation and for search engine crawling. You can see the blog that I was able to launch here. It's pretty good. I was impressed with the content that it came up with. Really good stuff. As it created all these pages, it used the design system that we implemented when we got the website going initially. All right, so I think that's about it. I'm trying to think if there's any other areas that I missed. I've got breadcrumbs implemented. Claude Code was able to do that as well. Another little thing that helps search engines understand what your site is all about. So that's it. Do some Vibe marketing with Claude Code by getting your website in there. If it's not, or building your website there. I gave you some tips for design and getting it on brand and making it look good with Anima, making it super fast and snappy with Astro, and then sort of a complete breakdown of everything that I did when it comes to SEO optimization, ranging from using O3 and Claude to find keywords and do an on-page and technical audit, kind of taking that and going into PageSpeed Insights to find additional fixes and how we can improve it further, going into SEMrush to go even deeper from there. So good luck. Let me know what you think. This is low-hanging fruit when it comes to Vibe marketing. Have fun.